Alright guys, so looks a little bit different today. Yes indeed it does. I pulled out my hunter that I haven't played in a while just to go down another path of builds. Maybe you don't like playing Warlock. Maybe you haven't played Warlock all that much, so you don't have a ton of the equipment. Well, never fret, because I play all the classes. I am a Warlock main, but I do have a lot of equipment with a lot of classes. And this build is not even as good as it could be yet, because I just grabbed some very, very basic gear here. But this should give you a pretty good sense of exactly what this build is about. So we'll do a quick little dodge, we'll run up, we'll punch, we'll throw another one, and it just cycles over and over and over. It just pumps energy back for us over and over. So yeah, this is another really cool build, and this is focused around our skip grenade here. Not one that you see used a lot, but it's tied in specifically because of the exotic hunter piece of armor that we're using. So that is the key to this build and kind of what makes it function. So I'm going to back out of here now and I'm going to let these guys have their fun. So let's drill into the build. And again, mind you, this is the first time I've played my hunter in months. I literally just popped in, boosted some quick and dirty stats on some armor to actually have the build function, but that is just a testament to how good it is. So I had this Ekalos SMG with Volt Shot sitting in there. Luckily, it's one that has a extractable pattern, but I don't have enough red bars of this, and I have not worked up this Brigand's Law. Obviously, this is craftable for me. I just used my Warlock, made another one of these real quick so I can get it bursted up, and then I've also got this tarnished metal I had sitting in the vault that also has Volt Shot. So you can see yet again, we are doing a Volt Shock centric build. This right here as well, Delicate Tomb. This would also get the job done, and I will swap over and get some gameplay to splice in to the footage side of this video when I go back in editing. But the core functionality is Shinobu's Vow. This is a quite old hunter exotic. It's one you don't see a ton of people use a lot. It's one that I thought was quite fun in PvP, but the whole deal with this one is down here. New tricks, improves skip grenade, and you gain an additional skip grenade charge. Now, that is one of the few pieces like this that is very reminiscent of kind of the Warlock exotic perks, and that's what makes this one work so well. So skip grenade returns energy when it damages enemies, and we also get that additional charge. So I just started, even though I don't have all of these maxed out yet, I just started pumping in abilities that are going to lower our grenade cooldown as much as possible. The mods are obvious. They're kind of similar ones to what I've run on my Warlock, but again, I don't have everything maxed out yet. So you'll see I've got 2 pieces of gear that don't even have 4 pieces of equipment slotted yet. So, I mean, it still functions. But this is the key to the build. And just pump in things that will give you bonuses for using arc. Like on this one, I went full grenade recharge rate speed. That's what I set it up for. Arc siphon for orbs of power, because that plays into this a bit. Improved target acquisition, just the arc targeting, ADS, and all of that good stuff. Since we're going to be focusing an arc build, when we get into the exotic itself, again, my discipline mod, grenade kickstart. If I bothered to max this, I would probably double grenade kickstart, but right now we've also got impacted induction. Since we're using melee a lot, just anything that can keep pumping energy back into our grenade to make it come up as quickly as possible. Over here, I didn't do much with it. I've just got a nice unflinching arc aim, as well as another discipline mod on the boots. We've got, again, a discipline mod. We've got innervation, so orbs of power reduce my grenade cooldown. We got orbs of power giving a small amount of energy to my ability with the least. That's usually going to be the grenade. Then innervation, again, we doubled up. And then finally on our cape or cloak, we've got our discipline mod yet again. Bomber, reduce grenade cooldown when using my class ability, so every dodge, and that does make it come up pretty healthily. I doubled up on it. And then finally, explosive finisher. Finishers restore grenades, so if I do finishers, nade energy back. So this is kind of the mod cycle to get this down as possible. We're already down, just pumping that energy into it to tier 80, so a minute 18. Not bad, not bad at all. And then, of course, we were using the Ekalos with the Volt Shot. Volt Shot because of Jolt. That is going to tie into the actual ability setup. So, jumping into the actual ability setup. I have it on the Arc Strider. You could just as easily go to Gathering Storm. Any of these that are your preference, that's not kind of the core of the build. I have Gambler's Dodge. Dodge for me is going to recharge melee versus reload weapon. I mean, they're both good. I could see merit in both or either. Just kind of depends on your preference. I've got the triple jump on. That's my default for Hunter. I have this combo blow on because it comes back very quickly. A 40-second cooldown over here versus a minute 40-second cooldown. We're not using this for its massive potential, much more so as we are using it for its ability to pump energy back into the grenade for this build. And then, of course, our skip grenade. Base cooldown 201. We've got it down to like a minute 18 or something like that, so already shaved 40 some odd seconds off of it. Then our aspects. These are kind of the cores that pair with our fragments. So we've got Jolted. Jolt, obviously we want, and it says while sliding, activate your charged melee ability to unleash a devastating uppercut attack that will travel along the ground in front and damage and jolt targets that are hit. That is kind of the Hunter version of the Warlock slide and charge melee. Then over here we've got Flow State. Defeating a jolt target will amplify us. When we're amplified, our dodge recharges more quickly, we're more resilient while dodging, and we reload greatly increased. So all of these are funneling back into things that we're constantly doing and just constantly reducing the charge time. So it's not quite yet, though it could very easily be, once I get the weapons built up, an infinite skip grenade build, but it's as close as could be, for I literally just threw this build together and jumped into play to show you what it does. So if you actually have some worked up equipment, yeah, I mean, this is basically an infinite skip grenade build. So fragments, Spark of Ions. Defeating jolted targets creates an ionic trace. Ionic trace obviously pump energy back in. So again, this is focusing around ionic traces, just like we did on our Warlock Arc builds. Over here, Spark of Discharge. Arc weapon final blows have a chance to create an ionic trace. Not a guarantee, it's a chance, but it's a very good one. Over here, Spark of Feedback. Taking melee damage will increase my outgoing melee damage. That's just a quality of life perk. And then the final one I put on is my Arc Grenades Jolt Targets. So we've got this nice little feedback loop. Certainly there are some other contenders that maybe you might want to throw in for quality of life, whatever you think works best for your build. I did consider quite a few other ones in here, but this is what I settled on. You have a lot of leeway, but I would recommend the two must-haves, Spark of Ions and Spark of Discharge. Outside of that, whatever else suits your fancy. If there's other ones that you prefer, throw them on. It doesn't matter, because this build is centering around the ionic traces, throwing energy back, plus the Tempest Strike and the Flow State, making us even more powerful. So that is the kind of custom build there on our abilities. We've got our exotics. I'm going to splice back in some footage with Delicate Tomb to show you what that looks like. But a lot of ways to do this build, guys. A really fun one. If you actually have some custom crafted abilities with this higher spec version of Volt Shot, it will make this build all the dirtier. So I will be working up my Brigand's Law to get that maxed out so I can put the top spec abilities onto it and make this synergize basically in the same functionality as my nasty Warlock builds do. But I literally just built this and jumped in to test, and this already shows you just how strong this is if you actually have some upgraded equipment. like I don't even have all the energy in there to use the best tier of perks that I could to make it even better. But guys, that's the build. I hope you find this useful. I have plenty more Hunter as well as upcoming Titan builds coming down the pipeline. This game has just almost limitless build potential. A lot of really fun ones. Sure, there's some that I use that a lot of people do, but I like using ones that you don't see a lot. And I can tell you, this is an oldie but a goldie, and with the Arc 3.0 updates, I think that they made this even more viable than it's ever been, and even more powerful than it's ever been. Guys, as always, I appreciate you checking in. We will catch you on the next one.